personally, I've gone and played Ultima Online on like fan servers that continue to exist. You know, like, I mean, I played Ultima Online as a kid, and, you know, I wanted to show it actually to my wife. So the two of us went and we joined a fan server and played it. And, you know, I think that's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Give it to the community. And I don't think it's either or, you know,
He did this a year ago. Wasn't the Stop Killing Games initiative? Like, wasn't his video 10 months ago? He's agreeing with the initiative.
You can do both. Like, let the community host the servers is wonderful and should be something that's done regardless, I think.
Yeah. Hell yeah. One of us.
You've gotta be kidding!
One of us.
What? To get Beckett, how? How does he get paid to have this specific take? The practice has been going on for years in regard to live service. How's he getting paid now for it? That's confusing.
You're suing a man and you end it with a dog hitting a... He's wrong!
Cops is filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
We're going to talk about PirateSoftware. Now, mind you, I do not know all of the other machinations involving the PirateSoftware shit, all right? I know he's a furry. I know that he is a Nepo baby from Blizzard, which should scream to you immediately that this guy isn't trustworthy, but somehow people bought into his, like, thin veneer bullshit of being, like, a YouTuber, Twitch streamer, / developer. Dude, he was already tainted by Blizzard. That company created the live service model that is a complete hellscape for every other video game that has developed since. The fact that these dipshit fans of his all were like, oh, this guy's credible. He worked at Blizzard. What? I would have lost it. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to trust anything that comes out of this guy's mouth. So we need to talk about Stop Killing Games real quick. All right. Stop Killing Games. If you are in the UK, I would recommend signing this petition. Genuinely, I would do it. There's only a handful of days left before the petition is completely useless in the court of UK and the EU. The UK and the EU, if you didn't know, are one of the biggest markets for video games. And if there is a change within the market of the EU and the UK, that change usually goes out to the rest of the world because the market follows that market. Okay? That's usually what it does. Note that the UK and EU petitions are separate. Thank you. So do both. Anytime a change happens over there, usually video game companies in other countries follow suit, and in China as well. But China doesn't give a f because China doesn't give a f about literally anything. Thank you for the 5, Jack. A YouTuber named CV11 once said, "If you want me to buy a game, sell me the game. Otherwise, I'll yo-ho it with a bottle of go f yourself." I kind of respect that. I respect that angle in his life. I respect that angle, dude. I do. I do. But you need to understand one fundamental fact here. Their aim is to make sure that games have a quality of life after servers are closed down. Now, that could be for live service games. That's for single-player games, anything along those lines. An example, and this is an example a lot of people have been throwing out there, is The Crew. The Crew was an online-only racing game that, even though you can play it single-player, you need to be connected to a server, which is stupid. I don't know why I, as a guy who bought a game with a single player focus on it, yes, there's multiplayer, needs to be connected to a server. I don't understand why I have to do that. I will never understand that. And it is a total bullshit practice for these companies to rip it out of your hands and go, well, you were just paying for a license. You can't play this game ever again. And it's like, what the f are you talking about? I can turn on my PlayStation 2 and play a ton of games right now with no server connection. There's a bunch of games for decades that have done that have been released online on PC where the servers are released to the public and you are able to still access the game. I'll never understand why anybody, especially PirateSoftware, would be okay with the opposite. That doesn't make any sense. PirateSoftware leaking Charlie's DMs in his Discord. Oh my God. Did Charlie fence it again? Because I was rooting Charlie on. I was like, Charlie, yeah, like stick your ground on games. Please tell me you didn't fence it. Like, to get back to my rant, it's like game preservation is so important. Okay, it is so important because these games that you purchase is through your currency. Okay, it's your money. When you pay for a product. There should be no recourse for these companies to take that product away from you once purchase is done. That is a predatory practice. I do not agree with it at all. I don't care. These companies hold on to IPs that they do nothing with for generations. There are games that should have had sequels or other companies could have worked on them to re-release them, but they won't. These companies won't allow these IPs. Preservation in general is important because it shows the history, the evolution of humanity, the cycle of games, the cycle of art. It is important, and we should care about that. We should care about that. And it's crazy to me that Pirate goddamn Software, a guy with pirate in his name, is saying we need to be corporate shills. We need to be okay with what the corporations want because it might set a precedent. Now, I agree with the idea of the government not being involved in shit. But the problem is that if companies are overstepping their bounds and over the consumer, then we should at least bring it to the government to make a decision. That is where I sit back and I'm like, you know what? If these billion-dollar companies are going to try and fuck us over, we should at least have some protections from fucking us over harder than they already are. Like, I'm black-pilled. These companies are going to fuck us no matter what. But if there's a chance that we can fight back, we fucking should. We should. So let me read this initiative to you because I'm going to go over Alex's video. Alex made a really good video of Pirate Software. I think it's the most informative one by far. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying the video games they have sold to customers. This is literally a line that nobody should be against. Nobody. Not a single person should be against this. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, which is fair. There is no stated expiration date. A game that comes out, you can sit there, purchase it, and it doesn't say on there, hey, after 5 years, the service for this game will be cut off. That's important to know. Because let's say, I don't know, Helldivers requires an online-only situation, right? It's an online-only game continuously through. Then the problem is that with Helldivers, there was a moment where the PlayStation community was completely all right, because PlayStation was requiring a PSN account to play the game in general online for PlayStation. That wiped out a huge amount of people in Europe that could no longer play because they can't qualify for that. All because it was an online-only game and Sony put it there. Now, where this feeds into what was being said here is that, let's say, down the line, that was for PC, my bad, not PlayStation, PC. Thank you, random boy. I keep that up for some reason. After that, let's look to the future with that argument, right? They already had an issue with PC players playing in different areas, right? From like, you need a PlayStation account to do this thing. You already cut off a massive majority of people being able to play an already online game because they won't sign up for it. Let's move 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 or 6 or 10 years into the future. Helldivers has run its course. Arrowhead Studios no longer wants to continue updating the game because they want to move on to another project. They shut down the servers. There are people that paid money into that game for battle passes and war bonds. There are people that have put thousands of hours into that game. There are people that just want to play Helldivers because it's a fun game to play. But nobody can play it anymore because Arrowhead made it online only with no offline mode or an opportunity to at least just have a minimal server so that you can still connect to your friends at least. Not like an actual online thing. It's like, you could just say, hey, you want to play Helldivers? I'll invite you to my game and do a local server. I just don't get that. I don't get why anyone would be against this. Destiny 2 sunsetting Red War content. I paid for the Red War content and I got fucked out of that. I got fucked out of, what was it? I got fucked out of, what was it again? Fuck. Forsworn? What? No, fuck. What was it called? It was the one where Cade died. Help me out here, Lago. I forgot its name because it got sunsetted. In Destiny, they got rid of that too. They didn't have to do any of that. They just did it. Forsaken. Thank you. Forsaken. Thank you. They fucked you over on Forsaken, which arguably is one of Destiny's best stories ever. Like, what happens to Fortnite? Fortnite genuinely has hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars in people posting skins, buying skins, emotes constantly, every season, battle passes, all that shit. What happens when that's gone? Why are you against this? Well, I don't get how somebody who is so prominent in the gaming community and is known as being like pro-consumer gets fucked, like just thinks that that this is a bad idea or that it's going to cause a precedent that's more of a problem than it really is. It's basic. It's basic. Hey, just have an end-of-life plan. That if the game shuts down, people can still locally access it and still access the game through their regular server. Through their regular play. So if they click the button, I want to play the game, there's no screen that pops up and says, well, online capabilities have been cut off. You can't access anything anymore. Just something. We should expect that from a product we're paying top money for. That's the part that kills me here. I'll never understand that. Effectively impossible. Furthermore, the legality of this practice is largely untested in many countries. Over the past year, we have successfully escalated complaints on this problem to consumer agencies in France, Germany, and Australia, and brought forth petitions for a new law on this problem to various countries. A list of the actions taken to date can be viewed here. As of 2025, most consumer action on this matter has concluded, and we are awaiting decision from several governments. However, there are a few remaining avenues left where people can participate if they are eligible. Literally, all you got to do, go to this website if you're a part of the EU or the UK. Sign up for this one if you're a part of an EU nation. There's also one for the UK. Please go do that. I know we only have probably a day left, but realistically, it's crazy that this is even where we're at now. Now, do I believe that PirateSoftware is solely to blame for the failure of Stop Killing Games? I'd like to argue no, right? I'm going to argue a little bit no, because a content creator does not have that much sway over the gaming community, right? I don't believe that personally. But here's the but that comes in here, okay? Here's the but. This guy is legitimately somebody that is not only a developer, he worked at Blizzard. People look at him as an important individual within the space of consumer-related conversation. He had an impact. Do I say he is the sole proprietor, the sole reason as to why it crashed and burned? Not necessarily, but he did have a huge hand in it, in my opinion. Watch Harmful's videos on this. He did the best coverage. Okay, we'll watch Harmful. I don't care. I know Shinji follows all the fucking shit through the forum. So if Harmful did the best, we're doing Harmful. Let's see here.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, here we go. We're doing Harmful then. Sorry, Alex. Harmful takes precedent if the video's better.
Gentlemen, I have to be honest with you. I am incredibly disappointed in Ross of Accursed Farms. Despite his disarming Hyraxian countenance and endearing extreme conflict aversion, I can't let this slide. Let me show you.
Thor here has been the #1 voice on the campaign, and he's been lying about what it is. That's a bit loaded.
The #1 voice on the campaign. So is it like against the campaign? My belief is either Thor was mad he didn't start the initiative, or he couldn't be the big pro-consumer guy if this initiative succeeded. I don't get that. Wouldn't you be like the really pro-consumer guy? So this is like the part that kind of aggravates me, right? The optics of this alone is an easy layup. It really is. There's no argument that you should have against the idea of preserving games if you are a part of the games industry in the context of like content creation, because you know that your fan base and the overall community around that and people that are gamers care about preservation. That's the thing that kind of like annoys the shit out of me. It's like, why would you go in the opposite direction of this? And you're such a large channel with huge influence. You can effectively sway it in either direction. Again, I'm not going to say he's 100% the problem here. It's mostly slacktivists and people like that. But PirateSoftware definitely didn't fucking help. So I don't get why he did this. I don't get it. What's the point? Like, I get he's a developer, but like, wouldn't you want your work to exist forever? Like, wouldn't you want that? Something that you put years, months of consistent effort into. Why wouldn't you want that to exist the test of time and have people still enjoy it generations down the line? Why would you want it? Why would you not? Why would you want it any other way? Wants devs to believe it will cost them money. That's stupid.
Though. In this case, I'm using the second definition of lie. I have no evidence it's the first.
Terrible take, Ross. Your kind and gentle spirit has clouded your vision. It's clear, unless you're a total sucker, that PirateSoftware was doing the first. 2 points here. Firstly, while my intro criticism is a joke, I do genuinely think if you're going to be dropping accusations of lying on someone, it's gotta be that they're deliberately practicing deception. This second definition thing is a bit slippery and doesn't even apply, because it clearly relates to the metaphorical characterization of things that don't have intent. Though some would disagree, PirateSoftware is indeed a person and not just a thing you can interpret and mislead yourself with. Second point about this, he's totally doing the first. I understand Ross's hesitation and his stated reason being,
I have no evidence it's the first.
but actually, yes, you do. See, if you want concrete, empirical evidence of someone lying, you'd have to be able to read their mind. You'd have to be able to show that they did
I understand, gay Riddler. Can we get to the point?
absolutely mean to deceive, and that it wasn't a slip or a mistake, that they didn't forget something or misunderstand. YouTube doesn't yet have a built-in brain scan function, and yet we can still fairly call people liars. How is this possible? Well, it's this wonderful little thing called deduction. You look at a collection of facts and you draw a conclusion from them. And if that conclusion is reasonable, you can go ahead and state it to the world. Like this. I think PirateSoftware is a liar. Now, why ever would I say that? Several reasons. Let's go through a few of them, starting with the one I think is the most fun. So, in a very tiny nutshell, Stop Killing Games is what it says on the tin. They don't want games to be snapped out of existence when publisher support ends.
Which, again, like, that is the most basic way to describe it. That is literally the easiest way to describe this initiative. And I cannot fathom that a man that cares about the gaming community, or he pretends to care about the gaming community, would be against this. Like, it's just an optical nightmare, both for your financials and your public image. And PirateSoftware seems to really care about his public image. How do I know that? Guys, even though I didn't cover it, I watched the PirateSoftware coverage of when he crashed the fuck out over being a dick in hardcore WoW. My roommate is a fan of hardcore WoW, and he knows PirateSoftware. When I brought this up to him, he was like, dude, that is the most dickish of fucking moves that anyone could do in human history. What is he doing about it? Did he apologize? I'm like, no, he's like tripling and quadrupling down. He goes, this dude's a dick. What did he say? And I showed him the stuff. He goes, this dude's ego's out of control. I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, a normie recognizes that PirateSoftware cares so much about his image, but will just destroy himself just because he thinks he's right for some reason. Watch this.
So I think the biggest thing that people are wondering is, if you couldn't, in the extreme circumstance that you couldn't
what?
Would you ever have a situation like that where you would want to release that into the public so that they can continue on with it?
But I mean, definitely. It's, personally, I've gone and played Ultima Online on like fan servers that continue to exist. I played Ultima Online as a kid, and, I wanted to show it actually to my wife. So the two of us went and we joined a fan server and played it. And, I think that's wonderful. Yeah, absolutely. Give it to the community. And I don't think it's either or, you could.
He did this a year ago. Wasn't the Stop Killing Games initiative? Like, was it his video 10 months ago? He's agreeing with the initiative.
Do both. Like, let the community host the servers is wonderful and should be something that's done regardless, I think.
Yeah. Hell yeah. One of us.
You've gotta be fucking kidding!
One of us.
What? To get Beckett, how? How does he get paid to have this specific take? The practice has been going on for years in regard to live service. How's he getting paid now for it? That's confusing. I'll tweet it out later because I gotta do a whole thing.
That's great, man. That's really good. You're awesome as hell, and gives me a great deal of respect for your studio and for what you are doing. For your publishing house. It's fantastic. It's really good to hear.
No, they've been trying to do lack of server support for forever now. They just cut the games off. The whole idea was that, yeah, the servers get shut down, whatever, but at least the community still has access to local play and still be able to play the game, even if it's just by themselves. Like, that's what people want. How does he make a video trashing the idea that he was okay with this? Call you? Okay. Oh, I didn't show Beckett. Beckett showed up late. Beckett, I need to show you something before we talk about your thing. I need to send you this. I wrote a nice letter to our friend.
What?
I wrote a letter.
Oh my fucking God. What's wrong with you?
I wrote a letter. Can you read it in your posh accent?
You want me to read this to you?
No, I did it with the chat with classical music, but I need a posh British man to read it.
Okay. Hello, my dear recipient of this message. I hope this letter finds you in good health. I am a fellow creator in this space and have been watching your history in actions for a long time. I wish to inquire as to your opinions on your history and current standing in society. I understand there are tensions currently with your standing, but I believe a good-natured conversation and overall understanding of your philosophy.
The chat helped me write it.
Jesus Christ.
Bro, I tried. They won't take the DMs, dude. I'm pissed.
No, I think they're terrified. Listen, truly, I think it was very funny that Chuli messaged it out. I think it might have been a mistake for Chuli to message it out.
Dude, Lio fucking snitch. Doodles apparently knows me a lot and hates me.
Yeah, I know she probably fucking hates me as well.
We need to get her in, though. All right, anyways, argue that. Argue your position, because I can't believe that you're going to get paid for a pro-consumer take within the gaming community.
It's not. Okay, so I think that Software's take was pro-consumer, and we've seen, like, a lot of games over the years, like the Warhammer the Fantasy MMO, for example, has its own servers, and WoW has its own private servers. However, a lot of this timeline-wise, this is just me fucking schizo theorying. A lot of the timelining for this is really fucking weird, because at the same time, like, WoW's doing classic WoW, a lot of companies are looking at their old IPs and thinking, can we resurrect this? Can we do a remaster? Can we bring something out? They're probably thinking, we probably want to hold on to the licensing for this as hard as possible.
That's fine to own the licensing, but releasing at least a finished product at the end where you can access it at the end of life cycle is what matters. That, to me, is the part that I'm like, I don't know how the fuck anyone's against that.
Because corporations are run by executives who are insane.
Yeah, but the thing is that would still allow people to come in and purchase the game if it still has end of life. That's stupid.
Yeah, but they don't think like that.
That's not thinking like that. That's money. Like, that's literally money that they're leaving on the fucking table.
They don't view it as leaving it on the table, though, because they view it as, well, we'd have to keep the servers up. And even if you
But they're saying not to keep the servers up. They're saying to do what they used to do in Diablo days, where it's like, gift it to, like, literally release what you have to be able to access the game, right? So the game gets released in a finished state. Sure, there's still updates to it, but for the online-only aspect. But when the game servers are cut off, you can still access the game and play the game. That's what people care about. Okay,
but let's say... So I remember having this discussion with somebody. There's, like, additional licensing problems to that. So part of the reason I personally think that the industry is, like, getting worried about this is things like, let's say Star Wars. Let's say you're Lucasfilms. Or LucasArts, and you've got contracts with EA, and EA is like, okay, the game's coming to an end, we're going to release this to the fans, and your Star Wars now owned by Disney. Do you think Disney wants to just be like, yeah, of course fans can just do whatever they want with our IP? They can actually get access to the game to mod it in any way they want, and potentially run large fan server communities. Do you think Disney wants that? Or do you think Disney wants to protect its IP at all costs?
I believe that Disney does want to protect the IP, but the problem is, regardless, is that this is a paid product. We pay $60 for this fucking thing. When the life cycle ends, we should modify it.
Let me be clear. I agree with you. I'm completely on the same side as you, but I think that's why Pirate Software changed its position. Because Pirate Software is sort of known for corporate shilling.
But this is like hard corporate shilling. This is like going against everything that the gaming community cares about. He understands what people want in this community. He's collabed with enough of these fucking people to understand that preservation is a huge part of the gaming culture.
Have you ever looked into what happened? Have you ever looked into what happened with, I think it was EVE Online?
EVE Online? No, I didn't.
No. So Eve used to have some major fucking problems, especially with communications with its player base. And I think it's Eve anyway. But Pirate came in as, well, I'm the pro-consumer guy. And don't worry, I'm talking to the devs at Eve. We're going to get everything sorted out for you. And basically,
do you have any time obligations? You
could...
But yeah, I
this
can
is one of the first times people started to really notice him. So when he's got a take like this, I think the intention is, well, we can get Pirate in to kind of like smooth the ground, but he's not really pro-consumer. He's pro-corpo.
Yeah, and there's now the mask has fall off.
Yeah, that's my view, and I think that's why he's got the position he does. Because someone somewhere in his ear going, "Hey, Pirate," because he is well connected, going, "Hey, this stop killing game thing, not a fan. This isn't a position we want people taking. This isn't what we want to become industry standard. We're like, currently the games industry is moving very hard to, you do not own games. You pay for a limited license tax.
Which I genuinely believe is just the most predatory fucking practice at this point. Like, Same. I think it's even more predatory than loot boxes at this point. Like, honest to Christ, like, yeah, sure, the gambling aspect's predatory as fuck, but this is taking away things that you paid for. This is another level.
Do you remember the series? Oh, fucking, is it Fractured Space? It's something like that. Mm-hmm. It's a cartoon series. There were 3 series of it, and it was really good. Actually, it was made by a YouTuber who finally got his own cartoon made, and it was Warner Bros. And they destroyed that you can't buy it anymore. People who bought the game, bought the like animated show to watch it on Amazon. Final Space, there we go. Can no longer access it because Warner Bros. Were like, yeah, it's a failure. So they destroyed the entire thing and made it inaccessible. The only way to view it, the creator of the show had to try and get fans to send him pirated copies of his own episodes because he could no longer access them.
That's fucked. The corporations should not be allowed to do that. They really shouldn't. Like,
yeah, it is.
But this is like the argument. This is the issue that I have with like the idea of like, what the fuck is Pirate Software doing? This is an easy layup. This is easy as fuck. This is a community-wide thing that nobody should be against. And he just goes, yep, I'm sucking dick of the corporates now. What is the point?
It's not now. It's always.
No, I know, but like, this is a big one. Like this is like the worst idea you could ever have.
Yeah, but he thought he could win.
Yeah, because he thought he had the station to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, it's interesting as well, like with, you mentioned before, like even the hardcore WoW raid. I said when I saw that happen, because I played a lot of WoW over the years, I think everyone in that raid fucked up. It wasn't just Pirate. I've said this multiple times. People, like, the mistake is just blaming, oh, Pirate's the one. No. Tank fucked up, the shot caller fucked up, the healer fucked up.
Yeah, but he still abandoned the group.
This is the thing. It's not just the abandon, because I can understand the run. The thing is, he then blamed everyone else rather than doing what the polite thing to do or the etiquette thing to do would be like, wow, that run's really fucked. I can't believe player died. Don't worry, guys. Your characters, I know you're going to have to remake them, but I'm going to spend some time helping you make sure you get your professions back up. Like, if you need any gold, I'll be there for you. Like, that was such a shit run. Like, fuck, what a mess.
Like, if he was basically what you're saying is if he was a human being.
Yeah. It'd be like, bad runs happen all the fucking time. The problem, like, Roaching is the fact that he's like, no, I did everything right, though. I did everything right. He, like, there's one thing that's, like, sort of his saving grace is the shot caller calls a run. The shot caller's like, pull out. And he pulls out when the shot caller calls the runaway. And he is, from that point on, pretty much fine. The shot caller can't really be like, no, come back. That's terrible fucking shot calling in a run. But at the same time, you're running with your friends. You shouldn't, like, and especially when you're doing it with other content creators.
When they're all watching.
Trying to help people.
Yep.
Yeah. It's so obviously an insane thing.
It shows a level of selfishness. And that's kind of where I'm at with this. Because I think Alex, it's Alex made, it's basically a schizo theory. But I'm going to be honest. It's got some legs, in my opinion, with how Pirate Software operates. You're aware that he runs a development company, obviously, right? So he has a game with Ludwig that is an online-only server access game on Steam currently. And that game released during the Stop Killing Game stuff, apparently.
Right, interesting.
So and I'm going to be honest, even though Alex's schizo theory is schizo, I'm kind of, with how he operates, I wouldn't be shocked if Pirate Software was also thinking selfishly about his own development and his own game, because he doesn't feel like doing that. That's me, though.
Well, I mean, so I've seen the state of some of his code. I wouldn't want it out there either.
No.
Like spaghetti western of game devs.
Yeah, true. Have you watched Harmful's video yet?
I haven't.
All right, I'm watching it.
Multiple reasons.
I got yelled at by Shinji to watch this. It's Shinji is the resident farmer here. He knows what he's talking about.
For this, but in the case of their current petitions to governments, they are pursuing a consumer rights angle. They want live service games to have some kind of end-of-life plan.
Which I don't, again, I'm going to repeat myself like 50 times. How does anyone have a problem with that? How could you find any hole in that to be like, we should be against this? Why? I get the government being involved is a pain in the fucking ass, but like, why? No dono alerts. Unfortunately, because Streamlabs is failing me, OBS's alerts are also not working. Let me read out some of the supers. Thank you for the £5. There was a free Mega Man Gacha that had its service ended. When that happened, they turned it into a single-player paid game. Yeah, that's what normal people should do, but unfortunately, that's not what they do. Artemis with the 5. Final Fantasy 14 devs are working on making the game offline payable for when the server shut down. So, wait a minute. So, wasn't his whole argument, why are you expecting Square Enix and Final Fantasy 14? You're expecting them to, like, keep their game fully operational after the servers end? If Final Fantasy 14 is already doing that, Pirate Software either lied about them not wanting to do it, or he's an idiot and expected them not to do it, but they're doing it anyways. Frozen with the $10. Even Club Penguin fans are keeping the game alive because of the private dedicated servers. I'm a little concerned. Okay, that one I'm concerned about, but okay.
They shut down. They don't want it to just evaporate. They want there to be something. Specifics left to be negotiated. In other words, they want to mandate that going forward, games have some sort of contingency plan to prevent them from being wiped from functioning existence if they're...
Check his code. I don't know anything about coding. I'm fucking retarded. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. That just looks like numbers to me, bro. If I had my friend who is like literally the greatest coder I've ever met in my entire life, this dude is a fucking genius. And sent it to him. You know what? I might text it to him and be like, hey, what do you think of this code? I haven't spoken to him in like 2 years. I'd be like, hey, bro, like, what do you think of this?
At risk of that. Now, here's the fun part. Did you know that Pirate Software, before even looking at it, guessed correctly and was afraid that that's what it would be? On April 7th, months before he published his first video about it, he was asked about Stop Killing Games.
Check out Accursed Farms on YouTube or his website, Stop Killing Games.
So I'd be really interested in looking into this. The thing that I'm worried about at the outset is wanting to put any type of legal framework together.
I hate assholes that do this shit. I hate when they do the Destiny drawing on the screen shit.
Yeah.
I fucking hate you people. This does not make you look intelligent. This just makes it look like you can't have a conversation without also writing something and then try to simplify it for retarded people. Just say the simplified thing for the retarded people. I don't need to see you writing it out.
To force studios to have a contingency plan for games that are live service games.
I literally don't see a problem with this. I don't get how this is a problem. You pay money. Destiny, you pay money for the initial game. That was $60 when it came out. I bought that fucking game like an idiot. I bought every fucking DLC, Battle Pass, everything for years. I cut myself off a few months ago. I stopped doing the heroin addiction, okay? Leave me alone. But basically, leave me alone. But basically, I have sunk hundreds of dollars into that. Thousands, I'm going to be honest with you. Over the years I've been playing it, thousands of dollars. I'm not even going to lie to you. If that game goes down and I can't fucking play Destiny without other people, I'm going to be pissed. That is taking my fucking money and basically saying, well, fuck you. You can't access this anymore. I can't get my skins. I can't get my guns. I can't get my exclusive items. I can't do anything. I'm out thousands of fucking dollars. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me that you would be against people that don't want that to happen.
This is the concern that I have.
Months before he made his first video, he stated fundamental opposition to any law mandating any kind of Plan B for live service games. He is fundamentally opposed to the petition in its essence and at its core. He then states that he will be looking into it.
So I want to go research it first, because everyone's been talking about this.
and elaborate
God, that sentence is just gonna fucking eat him alive for the rest of his life. Yeah, I'm gonna research into this real quick. Proceeds to completely miss the entire aspect of the initiative, and then just goes, well, this is what I think it is, when he isn't actually reading off what it is. Like, he's just doing that on purpose to, like, obfuscate what actually is being said.
on why he's against any kind of mandated contingency plan.
Because I don't want, and this is the real one, I don't want the government telling indies that they have to have their live service game stay online forever.
That's not what they're trying to do, bro. It's like, I'm so frustrated by that. That's not what people are saying. And this dude is just like, yeah, I don't want, these companies to be forced to constantly keep their servers online. No one said that. No one said that. The amount of manpower would be needed, and to be honest, for generations is not viable. The initiative recognizes that. People that are dumb recognize that. Like, we just want a game that when it ends, I can still play the goddamn game. Like, that's all I'm asking for.
I don't want that. Nobody wants that. But when you're talking about a legal setting to force people to do this, you're generally moving in that direction.
He's scared of the slippery slope. It'll go in the direction that people will be forced to keep their games online forever. Specifically, he says he's scared for the indies.
You get a whole lot of these problems where there's like smaller games and everybody's focusing on the big juggernauts. They're like, what happens when World of Warcraft goes away? I want to play World of Warcraft. But you're not thinking about how this could impact everybody in the space.
Yes, it is. It's a blanket terminology. All developers need to have a game in a playable state after it has been released. I mean, not once it ends. Once the game's life cycle ends, that's what people want.
At the moment, don't have playable games in their current state.
Yeah, I didn't mean to say current state. That's my fault. I meant to say end of life cycle. So when the end of life cycle comes, developers, major billion-dollar companies, and indie developers should have a game that when it is done, people can still fucking access the product that they purchased.
Did you ever play Anthem?
Yeah, I played Anthem. My brother did, and then I played like an hour of it, and I was like, this game is dog shit.
So I actually quite like Anthem. I was a fan of Anthem. No, hold on. Hear me out. Listen.
That's like telling me Mass Effect Andromeda is good. Get the fuck out of here.
No, look, listen. Like Anthem had some good parts to it. It was not as good as it could have been. But like the core gameplay loop of like fly around in Iron Man suit, fun. Like there's not many games out there like it with like a semi-open world that you're kind of interacting with. And like I spent time playing this game and I can never play it now. It does annoy me. Like actually, like it's
you paid money for that. Did you buy it on release? Yeah. That's $60. No,
I didn't buy it on release.
Oh, you didn't buy it on release. So if you bought it on release, that's like $60 fucking dollars that you can't access it anymore, which I think is bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's fucked.
Just the big titans. Everybody wants to stick it to the man, and they forget that, well, the man is not the only man on the board.
Agree or disagree, noble enough, worried about the costs this adds for the little guy, might stop people from making live service games when they otherwise would. So over the next months, he goes off, does what he said he'd do. He's going to look into every little bit of Stop Killing Games.
Read a whole bunch of stuff. We see every little piece that they're talking about.
And before making his first video about it, he certainly saw Ross's Europeans Can Save Gaming video, because he quotes it. In that video, Ross compares the loss of games to the loss of films.
And now, most films of that era are gone forever. That's very similar to what's happening to video games today. It's just a terrible practice for everyone involved.
Multiple of the examples on that page he pulled up to show us what we've lost.
Griffin Gaming said that Stop Killing Games group is a bunch of Redditors. Well, Griffin Gaming is actually the most retarded fucking video game channel on the platform. And he is a synthetic man, dick-sucking simp retard. So anyone that takes Griffin Gaming fucking seriously needs to be fucking lobotomized. I hate that motherfucker.
Lost and what we lose are MMOs or otherwise online multiplayer games. Further to that, he claims that the initiative would apply to free-to-play games that have
Watch somebody clip that out and send it to Griffin, and then he's going to crash the fuck out that I dared call him a retard.
Transactions.
This would also apply to free-to-play games that contain microtransactions. Because if you purchased a microtransaction as a good, then the game is made unplayable, well then you just lost your goods.
The intended scope of the initiative.
Like, I don't see an issue with that either. If I pay for a microtransaction, if I pay for a battle pass, if I pay for a fucking DLC pack, I should be able to still fucking access it after the servers go down. I still should be able to play it. No arguments. It's ridiculous. Again, the Destiny 2 analogy. Destiny 2 sunsetted fucking everything in vanilla Destiny 2 that was DLC adjacent until like what? Fucking I think it was until the darkness showed up or whatever. When Europa came in. They sunsetted all this shit. And I can't access any of that. I paid $60 for the fucking game.
Hold on. I haven't played Destiny in ages. When you say they sunsetted all of it, wait, they sunsetted the planets?
They got rid of the planets. They got rid of the game. They got rid of the storyline. They got rid of the access to the side missions, the dungeons, everything. From Forsaken to the Red War to the planet, the mission on Mercury with Osiris. They got rid of all that.
Wait, what?
Yes.
I didn't realize they'd sunsetted that much of it. Why?
Because they said that they couldn't handle it, and that they got rid of it. So they said before it was like narratively focused. Oh, the planets are gone. Isn't that crazy? And everyone's like, oh, that's really cool. And then they're like, hey, when are you bringing this back? And they're like, oh, never. Like, it's not just like an event thing. It's like, it's too much for us to handle. It's like, I'm sorry. I paid $60 fucking and 3 DLC packs, and they're just gone.
That's really bad.
Like, the Red War is the main storyline in Destiny 2. It is the opener, and you can't access it.
Jesus.
I think that's bullshit.
Is clear and is reflected in the petition's text. Given that he must have seen this and more, I think it's pretty bizarre that his very first comment on the initiative, in his first static video on it, is this.
The reason why I have a problem with Stop Killing Games is specifically it starts the wrong conversation. If we're trying to kill off the practice of developers putting together a live service game, pitching it as a single-player experience, and then taking away support in the future, this ain't it.
Correct.
That's not the... I hate this motherfucker. That's not the initiative. It's like, it's so fucking obvious what the initiative is, and he's just like, I'm going to completely come up with another thing that is not even remotely close to what they're talking about.
Ain't, and it's not meant to be. But he later further asserts that that's its supposed purpose.
Doesn't call out the specific practice that this is supposedly trying to defeat.
It cannot be claimed with any credibility that he believes what he just said is true. He is being willfully deceptive. He was lying. PirateSoftware is a liar. And why would he lie? Because he knows exactly what it is. He knows exactly why they're doing it and what they want. And we know months ago, he was scared that was the case. He wanted to smother it in the crib. He knew it had barely any chance. And it's not his fault if it fails, but it is his fault it has practically no chance. Now, if he destroyed something he didn't like...
See, that's the argument I was trying to make earlier, that I can't blame him solely for the failure of the initiative. It was already not going to go very far because these corporations and people don't give a shit as much as we think that they do. But, like, it didn't help. It didn't help. He made sure to put another nail in the coffin.
Like, honestly.
Well, it's also like, I don't know how Pirate maintains this image. I mean, I do actually. He blocks everything and keeps reporting and stuff about him and like fucking.
He blocked fucking I think he blocked the Act Man and like a bunch of the larger gaming channels that were like, what are you doing? And they all blocked him. Apparently he's leaking his DMs with Moist Critical in his Discord server right now.
Wait, what? Okay,
yeah, so hold on, I'll pull this up. PirateSoftware leaking Charlie's DM in the Discord. So this is what Op sent me. Thank you for the 10, Zeke. Remember, everyone, don't call PirateSoftware Thor. That's his cool chosen name. Call him by his legal name, Jason. God, I can't believe he changed his name to Thor. So these are apparently DMs between PirateSoftware and
he
Charlie.
changed his name to Thor. Holy fuck.
Yeah, he changed his name to Thor. I covered a topic I'm passionate about that you refuse to listen at all. 2 hours we spent in circles with me expressing my perspective about your behavior and just met with a condescending attitude about me being wrong and that you misrepresented anything. Then your statement mentions you talk not a single peep about what my conversation with you was actually meant to focus on, which was your inability to recognize how you misled people about the initiative. You make it seem like I'm just trying to convert you to SKG or something, no matter how many times I tell you it's fine not to support it. But what's not fine is your response and very valid criticism of your misrepresentation and attitude around the whole discussion. You feel I misinformed people. I feel I didn't. Your way or the highway goes both ways. This dude is such a... I hate him. Posting a video response instead of continuing to talk with me is absolutely high school behavior. You're the one that trapped Charlie in a 2-hour fucking call and wouldn't concede on anything. What? Was hoping to have an actual conversation with you. You did 2 hours with him. But both of us are stubborn, and neither of us understand one another clearly. Now that you've set your fan base after me, oh God, you're shitting me. He's doing the you're harassing me.
He always does this.
He's doing
the I'm being harassed thing. I'm being harassed, guys. Don't you understand the harassment I'm facing? I fucking hate this guy.
Dude, you've got to be kidding. You can't do the harassment game where you, like, call Ross, like, a bunch of fucking insults in your own video. You can't do that. You can't call harassment. This guy's a bitch. Like, you're on the same level as Charlie almost. You're in the millions. Are you kidding? This guy's the biggest pussy imaginable.
Play. Respect. But he didn't. He instead decided to employ a more effective tactic. And what tactic is that exactly? Well, iDub should look into this, because this is a genuine example of what concern trolling actually is. Instead of tackling what he disapproves of head-on, PirateSoftware has constructed a fake problem. To be clear, he addresses issues he has with end-of-life plans for games, but he pretends that's an accidental side effect of them messing up the initiative, instead of it being
I'm so sorry. That's so stupid. That's so fucking dumb.
Exactly what they're trying to get. This framing is incredibly important and powerful. It allows him to present his arguments against the initiative as evidence and proof that they're doing things wrong, instead of as his opposition to their movement, which it actually is. You see, he's here to help. You want to do this thing, but the initiative won't get you that.
In the niche cases where a studio is trying to sell a game as if you are buying it or purchasing it or using that language specifically, and they give you a live service game instead, I agree that should change. That language.
That's not... Is he an idiot? Is he fucking retarded? Like, what? Dude. Like, dude!
I can't believe you're just telling me now that his real name, he changed his name to Thor.
I can't. Hold on. I need to listen to this again. This argument is so stupid.
Actually is. You see, he's here to help. You want to do this thing, but the initiative won't get you that.
In the niche cases where a studio is trying to sell a game as if you are buying it or purchasing it or using that language specifically, and they give you a live service game instead, I agree that should change. That language should change. You are not purchasing the game. You are not buying the game. You are paying to have a license to a live service experience. I get that.
This is the biggest obfuscation of the actual argument that is happening here. People are talking about that games need to have an end life cycle where you can still access the game. Doesn't matter if it's single player, doesn't matter if it's fucking multiplayer, doesn't matter if it's an RPG, an MMO, it doesn't matter if it's live service or not. That's what people want. That is it.
When did he make this argument?
I'm not sure. I believe this was during his video, the Stop Killing Games video.
So this would have been like, what?
10 months ago, 11? Yeah. 10, 11?
Isn't this around the time that everyone was freaking out because live service games themselves were dying?
Yep.
Like in the industry.
Also, here's a clip of him agreeing with somebody with the initiative a few months before he makes the video.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, again, I am even more convinced of my conspiracy theory. I think somebody got to him and was like, she wants to make some money.
Let's go deeper. I'm straight up going to say it. Blizzard stepped in and said, hey, you have a very large platform. You used to work with us. We need you to kind of use your platform to argue against this because we don't like
it wouldn't have just been Blizzard either.
Well, he has direct connections to Blizzard. He's a Nepo baby through that company.
Yeah.
So Blizzard's one of the biggest ones. So Activision Blizzard, that's the biggest, one of the biggest video game companies in the fucking world, publisher-wise.
Yeah, like EVE Online, he's got connections to the EVE devs as well, who also have, I believe, some concerns on this. Who are the devs?
Chris, first Stop Killing Games video came out on August 6th of 24. Okay, it's gonna get clipped, Zach. We're gonna clip it out. We're gonna clip out certain sections. I think we're gonna clip out the PirateSoftware stuff.
Is that what this is doing, though? The initiative is not trying to call that out specifically. It's trying.
Oh my god.
Trying to say that all games need to stay in a functionable, playable state, which is not calling out the language that is being used to manipulate the player. call that out specifically.
See, he's not actually against what they really want.
And also, I'm removing the Boblax's friend from this because it's so gay. I don't care.
So Tipster commented on my live stream from this morning.
Yeah, Tipster's been DMing me clips of this guy like sexually harassing him. I'm just like, what? I have
been very clear. Tipster cannot let it end this way. This man cannot be allowed to eat Tipster. Okay?
He can't.
We need to stop this man from eating Tipster because that is clearly what's going to happen.
He's trying to, bro. I've seen clips that Tipster sent me of this dude just talking about like wanting to sexually assault Tipster.
Yeah.
Like it's just like what the fuck? This is Boblax's friend. Dude, you know what's even crazier? I told you he was leaking DMs of Tipster to random people at fucking VidCon, right, Boblax?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Has anyone seen Boblax since like VidCon, or did the gay guy kill him?
Boblax uploaded a video to OnlyFans of him reading the Bible for $20.
Jesus fucking Christ.
That's the last I heard about him.
And he's on their side. They're just going about it the wrong way. The great gaming authority is correcting some people who are misguided. That's what's really happening here. He just...
Okay, reading. Okay, so my question is, did he slam his cock into it? Is that real? Because is the slamming his cock thing real? I heard he was reading the Bible, and then it turned into allegedly he also smashed his dick between the pages of the Bible. There's two stories happening here.
Thinks they should be more specific.
I don't know which one's real, and I don't want to investigate to find out.
Except that specific thing is not what they're trying to do. And he knows that. Perfect little narrative, nice little story for his audience to pick up and propagate. Disingenuously present a false story when you know the true one, because it will have the effect you want. PirateSoftware fully understands this tactic and hates when it's done to him.
This strange idea that somehow that one player was a mysterious figure that no one knew who he was is kind of stupid bullshit. It's just propaganda at that point.
Oh my God, it's propaganda. I love when people use the propaganda line. It's propaganda that people are criticizing me. It's just total propaganda. It's total lies. Everybody criticizing me for my takes or my actions in the WoW raid or like the furry stuff or the fact I'm a Corpo shill where you've talked about it like a billion fucking times that you're a Nepo baby of one of the biggest fucking companies in the world. Yeah, it's all propaganda. Like...
mean Mr. Streamer named the player? No, dude, everyone knew who he was. He was the mayor instead of me for a month. And he acted like a jackass with the title. It's concern trolling is what it is. That's exactly what that is.
Yep.
Okay. It's official. PirateSoftware is the gaming community's iDubbbz, dude. Anyone that says concern trolling immediately gets the iDubbbz title from me.
And it works, doesn't it? Works real well. Very effective to add that extra layer of obfuscation. You're not just clashing, the clash itself has been warped, such that before you can fight back, you have to straighten out what's real. Imagine an alternate reality, where PirateSoftware brings his true concerns, the ones he'd previously stated, instead of presenting his issues with the end-of-life stuff, as if that was an unintended side effect of what they were really trying to do. Instead of repeatedly stating it's vague, he said it's precise but broad, which is different, and that he's worried what will end up happening will impact indies, and it's easy to guess it wouldn't have been as impactful. Even the focus on the little guy would make less people care, and to a lesser degree. That's why instead, in his video months later, he went with this.
If you try to tell me that every studio needs to run their live service game indefinitely or not want to run one at all, then no one's going to run them. And we're going to miss out on adventures like Final Fantasy XIV.
Over those months.
But that's literally not anything that is being said. That frustrates the shit out of me. I can't get over that. It's just him straight up lying in that moment.
Wait, hold on. Has he...
As he what?
Is he, because again, like the Stop Killing Games is about making like essentially like an end of life plan down to just providing your source code so people can run the servers if they want to,
or that you can still allow best case is that you're still allowed to access local play with friends.
Yeah, which like with some live service games, frankly, like installing something like that you can run independently, like you actually do need a server for some of these things. But it's just occurred to me: has PirateSoftware ever addressed like fan-run WoW servers?
I'm not aware of that. If he did, and if he tried to defend them from Blizzard and Activision trying to shut them down, that's gonna be an interesting
because actually
moment.
one of the like biggest arguments I've heard against this initiative, and he says they are bad. Yeah, it's an interesting one because certainly in the case of a lot of the fan-run WoW servers, they're not great actually. They basically monetize, so you can basically they've turned WoW into pay to win.
Right.
So you can buy special powers, you can basically buy dev powers, and they've modded in insane things. There's actually an argument there against fan-made servers without any control, because again, it will damage the company's IP. It will hurt. It could theoretically hurt consumers if it's misadvertised. There's loads of things there. But it is really interesting that he mentions Final Fantasy 14.
But not Blizzard.
Yeah, but not WoW. Yeah.
That's interesting now.
Between his stream and this video, did he change his mind about the everyone wants to stick it to the big guy but please think about the little guy's argument? Or did he realize that would make his self-interest too apparent and be less rhetorically effective? Probably more about they're coming for your Final Fantasy, hitting better than they're coming for your Realm of the Mad God Exalt. Something to think about though. As someone who's a little bit of a polemicist, I love the art of just lasering in on something you don't like and hitting it as hard as you can. Watching these videos when they first came out made me feel such second.
All right, so Uplock saying Final Fantasy XIV was created with a single-player MMO mantra in mind. So they already had the idea that once the game ends, they were going to make it single-player accessible, which video game companies should be doing as a normalized practice, not the predatory practice. That's what I think of it. That's what the initiative should be. And is.
Embarrassment. And I'm glad there's a reason to talk about him again, because there are a couple little bonus nuggets I didn't touch on before that are pretty funny. Under his first video, he pinned a comment with an FAQ. One of the things he addressed was why he wouldn't talk to Ross. The reason he stated was, I think his position is disingenuous due to his comments about how this could be pushed through government.
Wait, what? I did not know that. He won't even talk to Ross. Correct. I think his position is disingenuous due to his comments about how it would be pushed through government. It's a bad direction, removes validity from the initiative is trying to do. No, it's not. What the fuck? Thank you for the 20, Captaincy. In terms of great gaming debate, the path forward, I feel like it'll never fall in favor of the gamers. I think gaming and owning games, we have known this is gone forever. If Steam ever fails, the people riot. Yeah, no, I agree, but we should end that practice. We should stop it now. There should be an attempt at least. And PirateSoftware, not recognizing that this is the most pro-consumer argument imaginable, being the Corpo shill that he is, has put himself in the crossfire.
I think his position is disingenuous due to his comments about how this could be pushed through government. Here he's referring to Ross's list of why he thinks the initiative could work, including that politicians like easy wins and so on and so forth. But what he was doing is the literal opposite of being disingenuous. Disingenuousness would be him pretending he didn't believe these elements were at play, to deceptively provide a picture of the situation he didn't believe was true. You're criticizing him for being excessively honest and open. You're attacking his character wrong. And then, after trying to attack Ross as a disingenuous person as a justification to not talk to, platform, or engage with him, PirateSoftware had the audacity to write in the description of his follow-up video, "No, you will not silence me with personal attacks."
Oh my, this dude's a cow, man. You won't silence me with personal attacks. Fight the argument I'm presenting. Dude, people are. They're telling you it's a bad argument. And you're calling it personal attacks. This guy is the biggest bitch on planet Earth.
Fight the argument I am presenting. Another thing he hates happening to him, but understands, is effective. Now, to be fair, this second video is better. He provides some novel arguments, and quickly watching it over, I don't see anything that I could call a lie. But it absolutely outs him as a fifth columnist.
And the last take that I got from this is, and it's the most reasonable to me, this is an initiative. It's not a law. Why are you upset? Just wait. I'm not going to wait. And the reason I'm not going to wait is because
Ooh, sorry. Bo Black's update. He's got a job. He's getting a job, guys.
He's got a what? Doing what?
He's got a job.
It's like
he's got a job, chat. Finally, it only took a year. He's working at a gas station like Gator.
There's no fucking way.
He's not getting a real salary job.
He's literally putting the fries in the bag.
He has to be. He has to either be working at a gas station, McDonald's, or something else. Doesn't really matter, like low manual work. But like realistically, that's a good thing. I am happy that he got a job. I'm glad. You know, Keem just called in today on the stream, and he offered me a position on Lolcow, and I just said no. I was like, fuck off.
Wait, Keem phoned you and was like, "Hey, Chris, Hey, Chris, would you like to come back to the mines, Chris?
He called
Doing
me.
what?
I forgot what we were talking. Like, I don't even know why he called me. He just called me and we were talking, and he's like, put me on speaker. So we started talking about shit. I tried to convince him to leak the DMs between him and Anissa crashing out over Creator Clash 2. He wouldn't do it. Like a bitch. Like, he wouldn't do it.
So bitch move.
And he was just like, yeah, Chris, you could come on my show. You'll make lots of money. And I was like, no. Not again. Never again.
Keemstar, if you're watching this now, Chris and I will do a lolcow show together.
It'll be only art commentary.
Yeah, it'll just be us. Well, listen,
we'll do it for we'll do it for a payout of 20 grand each.
Yes, up front.
Listen,
if you like both of us, actually, I don't know if Keemstar even knows who the fuck I am, and
no.
We've spoken like twice, but in TMs, that's it. So, but like, listen, you like Chris, I'm British. That seems like it's worth a 20 grand investment. Come on, you can do it, right? You're doing well.
Yeah, 20 grand investment. Take that out of Boogie's paycheck. Fuck that fat fuck. Thank you for the 20. I just got here. Sorry. If the point is previously talked about, does anyone remember when Steam was possibly going to lose their Ubisoft rights and began removing Assassin's Creed from people's libraries? Yes, that's a bad thing. We should not allow Valve to even do that. If you purchase a video game, you should be able to own said video game, even if the licensing gets ripped away. That's my fucking position and the position of others. And on top of that, if a game is live service or not even live service, there needs to be an end game life cycle where you can still access the game that you purchased. We as the consumers should still be allowed to play the fucking games that I paid fucking money for. Okay?
Here's my baseline. Here's my baseline. If you are only going to sell me a license which can be taken away at any point and I'm just paying for access, then I don't think piracy is a crime.
I don't think piracy is a crime at all. I think piracy is base as fuck if that happens.
Well, here's like the argument. Like, the argument is theft. But actually, like, if it's a licensing thing, is it really theft or is it trespassing?
Probably just trespassing.
Like, surely, like, doesn't this have implicated, like, it's very rare that a company will take somebody to court for like illegally downloading something, but I don't technically own that thing. I'm just downloading, like, surely by their like metrics, it's impossible for me to own this thing. And can I pirate something that I actually like have paid for? Like, if I bought a game and then go and pirate the back end.
I would not
do anything about that.
I don't believe so, because you purchased the initial product. You have access to that product. And if that product is taken away and you have no other recourse to receive your paid goods, I cannot look at that and go, yeah, you're breaking a crime. That doesn't make any sense, because you already paid for the product. Just realistically, they could argue like you double dipped and then you got a second version of the code for free. But like that, I still don't think that would go over well. I think there would be a way to argue against that.
Start of this conversation not making sense. It's not including the actual developer side of the conversation. It's not showing the trials and problems that this could arise inside of the gaming industry for people who are actually making the games you play.
Yeah. Fuck all those people. If they are going to fuck me over with a licensing that I can't access the game later because they just don't feel like putting more effort into it, fuck them. I'm just going to be a dick. Fuck them. Fuck EA, fuck the publishers, fuck the developers that are making games like that. That's my fucking product. I fucking paid for it. Fuck you. Like,
yeah.
I don't get why we have to care about that. Either don't do that practice at all, or do what the initiative wants and let people have access to their fucking games.
Yeah, because it's consumer advocacy activism. They're fighting for their interests, as they should. And they should as hard as they can. Hey man, I'm a carpet salesman. Before you go and haggle with these other carpet salesmen, you should really consider their feelings. Make sure your starting price is low enough to be real comfortable for them. I'm sure it won't go any lower. Correct response to that would be, fuck off, Shill, as it should be. Here, PirateSoftware tries to paint Ross as not the guy to talk about this. But while my position is anyone can talk about anything, if there were a person who should not talk about this, it's the game dev being cheered on by the industry.
I received hundreds of comments from developers thanking me for putting it out.
Yeah, I bet you did. Right? Anyway, let's wrap it up by looking at some new stuff. PirateSoftware responded to Ross's recent video on Twitter. I believe he's now deleted it, but of course, the internet is forever. Sup, Accursed Farms.
Hold on. Shinji, can you send me that timestamp again for that clip involving PirateSoftware agreeing with the end of the life cycle? Gar is a little confused.
I put out 2 videos disagreeing with your initiative 10 months ago and haven't talked about it since. Pretty much true, but that's because Ross is a softie and let you get away with that shit for far too long. For instance, this stuff absolutely warrants a clapback.
Oh shit, now this is actually really dumb. It's used car salesman garbage. This is shit. It's shit. Yeah, so not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
I wanted to go and check it out for myself, see the context of these statements, particularly the used car salesman one, because I was curious, but I couldn't find which VOD it is. The video he's reacting to went up July 31st, but there's a gaping hole in PirateSoftware's livestream archives between the 29th of July and the 14th of August. I've been searching for salesman and car in the transcript of VODs after that point, but I'm not finding the clips. In any case, since Ross has receipts, there is certainly more than just those 2 videos, so the "I put out 2 videos disagreeing with your initiative" line is a bit misleading, isn't it, buddy? He continues, "Now your initiative has failed and you're blaming me for 33 minutes of the hour-long video covering it. There's a bit of blame, and a bit of blame is deserved, make no doubt."
Fauci just sent me something in regard to the deleting of the VODs. What is this? In response to Scott, Pirate Software argues that YouTube auto-deleted the VODs in a specific period because they broke. However, Thor lies. Whoa, wait a minute. So these VODs that Harmful's talking about that he can't find, apparently Pirate Software at one point said that YouTube auto-deleted the VODs when they didn't. What? Let's read that over. This is interesting. Thank you, Fauci. In his response to Scott, Pirate Software argues that YouTube auto-deleted the VODs in that specific period because they broke. However, Thor lies so much he tripped over himself once again. Let's bring up the logs, which are still at up last I checked and not deleted them yet from his Discord. Old screenshot from his server. I deleted them because they were being used in a way to shit stir and create.
We've banned 1,000 accounts in the last 5 days for hate speech, death threats, doxing. What the fuck is wrong with this guy?
What? How does that work with the VOD though? You're just banning people out of the Discord. Yeah. Like how the fuck does that work? Here's the new screenshot. So this is an old screenshot in the server. I don't know when they took that photo. What's this one? 8/12/2024. Okay, so this is the old one. So they fucked this up. Old screenshot from the server was the one I just showed. Old screenshot. I deleted them because, oh wait, no, they're the exact same. Oh wait, the videos I have about SKG sum up how I feel. Anyway, so it's not a loss. Oh, what have you done? Oh, what's that? A direct admission? He deleted the VODs to prevent them being used a way to shit stir? Interesting. Are some VODs missing? The last one I could see is from 2 weeks ago, and I thought I missed them last week. Yes, they're missing. The ones covering the SKG were deleted because they were being used to further stir things up. Oh my god! This dude is the biggest liar in human history! Oh, what's this? Other subscribers on his Discord discussing the topic at length. I wonder how many of these posts will end up getting deleted after he sees these threads. Now, personally, I think the new stated reason we found for deleting the VODs is another lie. He didn't delete them because of shit stirring. He deleted the 2-week group of VODs because he spent 2 weeks raging on stream and made him look bad.
And like on top of it, I went through the Reddit for their initiative for that, and there were a number of posts in there that were people saying we should keep baiting him and attacking him, because if we do that, he'll keep talking about it, then more people will sign the initiative.
Why are you making this like everyone's fucking problem? Wait a minute. How is this Ross's problem that the Reddit in of itself is saying shit? That's not Ross's fault. Is Ross like shouting out that Reddit going, yeah, dude, like, here's an example, like how the Ethan Klein Snark thing is like where those, like Hassan and the rest of them are like taking information from Snark and using that to weaponize it, versus Ross, who put out a video, is working on an initiative, and then the Redditors just do shit and Ross has nothing to do with it. Why the fuck is this a problem? You just ignore it. You just ignore it.
Planning that shit. And those threads are still there. They're still up. People are still talking about that shit on there. So instead of that, I just deleted all the VODs where we were talking about it.
He even did it on stream.
Kept my videos up and I walked away. They can eat shit.
This dude's a retard. This dude doesn't know what he says. Oops, he even said it on video. Why does he even bother to try to lie about this? I think it was fair to give Thor the benefit of the doubt, but he's just a liar. Not sure what else to say is. Once someone lies so much, it only makes sense to stop trusting them. What's this one? He actually had no idea how VODs worked. Here are all the videos from that time period. As you can see, they cut off at 11:55 are missing, or showing timestamps, showing times of 20+ hours with a stream over 16-hour VODs routinely disappear and go in a broken state. I don't believe that.
Wait, hold on. What? Wait, how long are his fucking streams?
They're hours, dude. They're long fucking streams.
I mean, theoretically, it could, like, So this is like one of those things where you lie with the sort of half truth people know, but it's like, yeah, the VODs break after 12 hours. That's true, but you're still taking them down, and like the initial 12 hours is still there, right?
Yep. And then I've also had where VODs broke, but YouTube corrects them in a few hours. You don't delete them. I've had that happen where it says only 11 minutes were saved, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I just let it sit there.
I remember that happening on one of the VODs we were on together.
Exactly. So they do fix it eventually because it is already saved in the YouTube algorithm. Well, not the algorithm. It's saved in like this back end that YouTube has where if the VODs do fail, they still record it through and they're able to correct it. And a bot automatically does it. So this dude is fucking lying. What is this? Bonus Strange Lie series. I just find a way he's approaching the situation sentimental, bro. You call him a greasy car salesman. I said specifically that kind of reasoning at the core of your values. That's used car salesman shit. I did not call him a greasy car salesman. You called him a used car salesman. That immediately means greasy. What are you talking about? Anybody in America who deals with a used fucking car salesman, what is the first thing you think of? Greasy. You think that they are going to try and fuck you over. Overpromise and underdeliver. That is the fucking known fact. When you talk about used car salesmen or car salesmen in general, people don't fucking trust them. I don't fucking trust a car salesman farther than I can fucking throw him. Like, this is ridiculous. What's going on?
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
Just in those 2 videos, or do you mean some of your streamer buddies as well? We'll never know. Anyway, while there's some blame, Ross was addressing statements he should have addressed directly earlier. Your community is out in force, shitting up our streams and socials with hate messages, threats, and snide comments. Well, you set that tone in the apparently now deleted VODs. Not the threats, of course, but just report that shit, whatever. Since you're so set on cutting up my responses into pieces to try to make me seem unhinged, I'm going to drop my videos here to show the actual context. I disagree that's what he was doing, but since we're all about transparency here, can I have those VODs? Or are we going to pretend now there were just those 2 videos? There's also a massive pinned FAQ on the first video. We all knew this, but YouTubers don't write, do they? Massive. Come on. To quote back to you, if you're going to hate me, at least hate me for what I'm actually saying.
Yes, we are hating you for what you're saying. Like, what you've said is retarded. And no one agrees with you about it. No one. Nobody in the actual gaming sphere agrees with you because we care about preservation. I don't get how he doesn't understand that people are arguing what he's saying and it's shit.
I've seen the videos a couple times each now, and I don't think he perverted the meaning of anything. That's your party trick. The only engagement I've seen that is level-headed has been from Lewis Rossman. This might not be deliberate, he might just not remember, but what happened to Asman? In the FAQ, you recommend his take as well. For context on what I'm thinking, a little while ago, people got mad at Pirate for collabing with Asman. Did he bitch out of saying his name because of that?
I could see that. I could see PirateSoftware caring about his fucking optics, but the thing is, though, is that, like, his action here is the most non-optically thing imaginable for a gaming YouTuber, is to take the side of the corporations. This is, like, the dumbest fucking thing to do. So he's either so retarded on his optics, he has no idea what the fuck he should do publicly constantly, or he's terrified of the optics and will do anything opposite of what he believes he should be doing. Like, I don't know which way it is. I can't tell. I think he's just a fucking idiot.
Well, it's interesting because when you look at his history, I think that a lot of this is he's sort of playing. You ever experience this at work where like somebody who's trying to get a leg up will start taking credit for other people's work?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
the
everyone in
shit.
the office knows that they're lying.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, we know who did this, but they do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like software kind of like reminds me of that. Somebody pointed something out which really made me laugh. It's like like he calls himself PirateSoftware and then is against piracy.
Yeah, I don't know how you could do that.
I don't understand why you named yourself this.
Well, there are
dumb.
some people that believe the main reason he did that was to get an algo boost from the name alone, because there are massive videos, channels, PirateSoftware, right? If you type that in onto YouTube, you are getting coding videos. So his name was specifically made to capitalize off of those videos and get him more higher up in the algorithm. That's like a weird schizo theory that people are putting together. But
no, I can see that.
I can see
I can see that.
I can see it algorithmically. He has a name that is connected to a huge section of YouTube. So like, it's not crazy to say that. I don't think it was purposeful, but I can see where you're coming from, you know?
Find talking to people that are level-headed about this. Ross is the chillest dude on YouTube and can have a conversation, but to be real, dude, every time you've been involved, your orbiters turn shit toxic instantly, and it sets me off. Your community is fucking rabid, and it's shit to deal with for anyone on the other side of the argument. Oh, his community's so nasty, they make snide comments. How do you behave? How are you talking towards Ross and his stuff?
Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours. This shit sucks. That's a really stupid ass move. That's incredible.
But remember, anyone that criticizes Pirate Software in any way that's negative is a propagandist, and you're harassing him. But him saying that Ross is retarded and all this horrible shit, and like, in his eyes, he's harassing Ross. In his argument, he's harassing Ross.
Do you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Joseph Goebbels.
How?
Listen, I'm not saying that Pirate Software is a Nazi, and I'm not saying he's anti-Semitic, but I am saying that if Pirate Software was in Nazi Germany in the 1940s, he would argue that the Jews had to be put in camps
because they were hurting the economy.
Yeah, they were hurting the economy, and like this is just the correct thing to do. Like, doesn't Pirate Software, you know that famous picture of Joseph Goebbels when he's like taken, like there's a picture taken of him, and apparently he'd just been told that the photographer was Jewish. I can absolutely see like Pirate Software's face looking at someone like that, like, oh, I hear that you like piracy, do you? Like.
Dude, Becca comes on my stream and just says out of pocket shit. Then I go over to his stream and say out of pocket shit. It's like a fucking competition now. Like, what the fuck?
I think this is ass. This is complete garbage. All of this can eat shit then. I drop the mask entirely.
Ooh, that's gonna fucking, that line alone is gonna follow him for the rest of his time on the internet. That clip right there, that's a legendary clip right there.
I have no qualms about that. They can eat my entire ass. The whole thing. That sounds stupid as shit.
You would ban you from your chat. I don't want to hear anything about decorum from you. Why do you think I haven't talked about this shit in 10 months? Because you said everything you wanted to. May I have an example of what you would have said?
Beerman, I am aware of that, actually. Of Pirate Software DMCAing a game, right? Like, didn't he DMCA a game?
Yeah, he DMCA'd.
It was like a parody game. It was like a
private parts game.
Yeah, so basically the game was like like using him as a parody in like an aspect of the game, and Pirate Software DMCA'd it because he believes his intellectual property was being infringed upon, which is fucking retarded. It's a parody. That falls under fair use. Like, I hate this motherfucker so much, dude. I hate him. I get why Null has like a fucking blood vessel pop every time I hear him talk about Pirate Software. I get it now.
Said, why do you think we auto-mute anyone bringing it up in chat? Because you a bitch. He says because it's been rage bait and shit-flinging the entire time.
Pirate Software DMCA'd Chud Logic's Gawk Adventure? No, he didn't. Did he? Is that...
No, I don't think he DMCA'd Gawk Adventure.
Yeah.
But the guy who made Gawk Adventure, the reason he got like involved or met Chud was because
of the DMCA.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Your own Reddit had people openly talking about causing drama in our community to try to stir up more support.
Yeah, Gawk Adventure is like a game someone made about Chud and like the commentary community.
Oh, so it happens.
Apparently Beckett's in it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I still disagree with you.
No, I thought he said it was out. I don't know.
Your movement for all of the reasons I stated.
Here I thought Zoe Quinn was the worst developer. Nah. Well, yeah. Wait. Which one's worse, Zoe Quinn or fucking Pirate Software now?
Pirate Software.
Is this the new generation Zoe Quinn?
Like, let's be honest. At least Zoe Quinn actually released a fucking game.
True. Well, Pirate Software also did. That's not Grums. Grums never released a game.
Wait, did Pirate Software actually release his game?
I think he released a game with Ludwig, so that counts.
Yeah.
Technically developer publisher, I guess, but I guess that counts.
Yeah.
Because Grums never released jack shit.
That's unlikely to change, and at this point, I'm more than fine with that. Stay frosty. So I guess ultimately, Pirate Software is a poor, battered victim of this horrifying beast. Clearly, the violent rhetoric Ross is known for has sent his audience into a blood frenzy, and being a giant loser is the only way you can...
All right, we're going to skip Harmful's conclusion because he has good fucking points here. All right, one more. I didn't watch this one. This is a short one.
My last couple of videos have been against a person who is against Stop Killing Games, which may have led some of you to believe that I am on Stop Killing Games' side. And I am. Gotcha! I had you going there for a second, didn't I? At its most basic level...
God, he really is the gay Riddler. That is like the best description of fucking
Every
Harmful.
time. Look, I love Harmful.
I do. I love him. I love torturing.
I
love torturing him. Like, I'll send him shit, and he just crashes out on stream because I send him fuck shit all the time.
I am highly sympathetic
After the Brian Mullins thing, I think he doesn't want to take my stuff anymore.
to the cause of preserving culture.
Because I sent him the Jake Doolittle stuff, and then I sent him the what was it? Then I sent him the Brian Mullins stuff. He still will not release that VOD. That VOD is unlisted and still just buried on his channel.
Cultural artifacts. Additionally, I am on board with their current petitioning of governments. And actually, I would be a supporter even if it were as messed up as Mr. Figtree wants you to believe it is. It actually doesn't.
But Grum's release a Concord-ass demo doesn't count. It's a demo. That doesn't count to me. It has to be like a finished game. It needs to be like out. Even if it's like janked and just the worst video game ever made, it's still a released product. A demo doesn't count for me. I'm sorry, Grums. You're still a loser.
Does not matter to me one lick if he's correct about the potential outcomes, and they even come to pass. Is it because I want live service games to go away? It's fun to say yes, GigaChad, but my personal reason is even simpler than that, and more general. It's more radical, and I don't expect most people to be on board, but goes like this. Not my problem. Developers, publishers, the industry. Ball's in your court. Whatever happens this time, you've been warned. If this doesn't succeed, as it's not likely to, it would be very easy to sit back, get complacent, thinking, well, that's it. Gamers blew their load. It's over. But as Pirate Software loves to say, that would be...
I think I hit the wrong video.
No, this is the right one.
No.
This is just from Stop Killing Games.
Dude, I know. This is the problem. Okay, I'm going to criticize Harmful a little bit here. Look at this. I hate Pirate Software. I hate Pirate Software so much. It's like, bruh, come on. Like, come on. Change the titles, asshole.
It's follow-up.
I hate you. I clicked on the wrong fucking one. I was like, wait a minute. This doesn't sound right. God damn it, Harmful.
Time already, because Pirate Software has decided to continue actively being...
This is the one I wanted. The Pirate Software response one.
A silly little boy. He has made a couple of statements.
I got fucking mogged by titles, bro. I'm retarded.
And for once, not deleted them. Been reading through all the posts against me over my stance on the Stop Killing Games initiative. That sounds really exhausting. You should watch my video. I just talk about
your streamer. Yeah, I'm just coping.
Your conduct.
I'll admit it, I'm just coping.
And rhetoric, and incidentally have to mention your stance. Tons of people calling me a liar or that I misrepresented the initiative. 'Cause you are. And you did. We'll get to his strategy of dodging this soon. Also, lots of content creators dogpiling on this to get their pound of flesh.
This dude's the biggest fucking pussy on planet Earth. Anybody that talks about anybody is fucking going to be criticized in some aspect. You put yourself into a contentious situation and did the contrarian argument thinking you were going to win, and it didn't work. It's not a pound of flesh when you are a huge fucking voice in the gaming sphere on the internet. Again, are you 100% solely at fault? Jason? Because I'm not going to call him Thor. That's retarded. No, but you did contribute a massive amount of misinformation. You need to own that.
Boo-hoo. Invoking the language of harassment. Dogpiling you. They're covering a guy who was trying to get attention for his take negatively. But it was 10 months ago. If one of your old videos popped off because people loved it, you wouldn't be crying. Let's dig into what I actually did and said. Don't worry, buddy. We will. I put out 2 videos on August 6th and August 7th, 2024. Now, that's true, but he also did a lot more than that. He has actually talked about it on stream a bunch of times. Here he is with the page up on the 19th of July. And we know he
No fucking way. No
about
way.
it on stream a bunch of times. Here he is with the...
So you know that clip where he's like, I have to research it? He's showing what the initiative's doing on the screen before he even puts the video out. The exact line that everyone has a problem with. What he is highlighting is the initiatives aspect, and everyone's hyperfixating on that. He read that and didn't understand it. Like, holy shit. How could you be this much of a fucking idiot?
The page up on the 19th of July.
It's either Pirate Software is the biggest retard or he is the most malicious actor of all time.
And we know he also streamed about it sometime after July 31st, because Accursed Farms has clips of Pirate Software reacting to a video that was released on July 31st.
This is shit. It's shit. Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
In my previous video, I said...
I didn't hear that one before.
Not only do I not want to back this, I'm going to actively tell people not to.
Oh, see, bro, now this is what... Oh, you can't cry. People are coming for a pound of flesh when you say shit like that. You can't argue that. You can't do it now. You can't do it. I'm going to actively go against everybody on purpose. You can't scream pound of flesh and harassment anymore. You can't do it. You're fucked. You're so fucked, dude.
In my previous video, I said I couldn't find that VOD and suspected he'd deleted it, but now I can confirm that he absolutely did delete it, alongside the other streams he was talking about it around that time.
I went through the Reddit for...
so Harmful saw this.
Initiative for that, and there were a number of posts in there that were people saying we should keep baiting him and attacking him, because if we do that, he'll keep talking about it, and then more people will sign the initiative. They were planning that shit. And those threads are still there. They're still up. People are still talking about that shit on there. So instead of that, I just deleted all the VODs where we were talking about it. I kept my videos up and I walked away.
Who knows what was said to thousands and thousands of people on those live streams? What we know he did say, though, is counter to the image of himself he's trying to present right now. He wants to portray himself as the level-headed guy, the legal...
Which he can't be. This is like the problem that he has, right? And I don't know if Beckett sees what I'm about to say here. This guy, unironically, has the most unabashed ego I've ever seen. An individual that cannot do anything outside of what he believes to be the truth. When he is wrong, he will double down on it, but he wants to play the veneer that he is an all sides kind of guy. But he's not any of that. He's none of that. He's literally singular focus, corporate shill motherfucker with a thin veneer of, I will pretend that I care about the consumers. That's what he is now. This exposed everything about him. And his whole audience are retarded. His whole audience that bought into that shit are retarded. Remember when the internet defended Pirate Software from MatPat? MatPat and Pirate Software had a beef? What?
I don't remember this.
How the fuck could you have a beef with MatPat? Of all people. See, now I'm curious. Now I'm curious what this beef was over. Because you can't beef with MatPat. You can't do it. It's literally impossible. 2 days ago, Moist Critical, Raw, MatPat Heartbound, Toby Fox is stupid. What was his thing? What was the issue? Because it looks like MatPat did Heartbound, Toby Fox is stupid. What the fuck is this? I can't find any videos on it. Oh, I just saw a Westside Tyler short on this, and he's being a loser, per usual.
Shocking.
Shocking. I don't remember any of that. How could you have a beef with MatPat? That's literally not a thing that can happen. You mean lobbyist MatPat? Well, now people could have a problem with MatPat because he's being a lobbyist.
Good by rude trolls.
I'm talking about before MatPat got into government, okay?
When his now hidden VODs showed he was talking like this.
Eat my entire ass. The level of stupid that I just had to receive was like sitting on Twitter for 12 hours.
Let's dig into what I actually did and said. He says, from a throne of deleted VODs. He continues and says, many people have not watched the videos he made. Yeah.
Man, I wonder why, asshole. I wonder why. It's almost like those VODs are fucking gone. Like, how do you brazenly put out a tweet like that? Nobody's seen the videos that I've made or the live stream VODs. You deleted them. How is anyone gonna watch them? How do you have the balls to tweet out something like that when people have the proof that you have deleted VODs? How do you have the balls?
And even fewer have had the chance to look through those VODs you deleted to see what you were telling thousands and thousands of people. Anyway, many people have not watched them and are just calling me a liar or attacking my character. Who? Throbbing Pepe69 on Twitter? Monetization on these videos is disabled, so no, this is not some ploy to increase revenue.
Oh my God. I'm so tired of creators doing that. where they have to like bring up that fucking aspect where it's like, it's not monetized. It's not monetized. It's like, you know how like Jar's like, this video is not monetized. This is my response video. I can't stand these people, man. I can't stand the people that do, well, this video's not monetized. I'm really showing an act of good faith here. It's like, who gives a fuck? YouTube still puts ads on it and they take money from it. Like, who gives a shit?
Well, it's also like the lamest fucking virtue signal.
It
ever.
is!
Like, I'm just doing this because I'm not making... Look, when I say I'm not making money, it's because I'm trying to be... Like, I'll be honest. I know that people are like, well, Becca always tells us he's not making money. Yeah, it's so that it's because it needs to be on the record at some level that if you're giving me money, it's not directly going to me because I don't want to lie to you guys. But it's obviously still being spent on things, and I fucking still like use that money for stuff to do with the channel. Well, I don't.
But it's
like,
just business related. It's not anything in your personal life. It's business related items. It's business related channel items.
But like, yeah, you should obviously like be making money off stuff. And let's be fair, I'd be real interested actually to know what's going on behind the scenes with software.
It's
not for like whether his
good.
video is monetized, but whether he is like paid by other people, what his sponsorships are, or not sponsorships, or like consulting contracts are with people.
That is
because
he has to. He's a developer. He's got a registered company in the United States, and they have to disclose. They have to disclose that.
An insane thing.
That's interesting. Now that I'm thinking about it, because it's a publicly available company. Huh.
Have to defend yourself.
See, now you got me thinking. Now you got me thinking.
Against, and he really doesn't have to. But if he does, it serves to characterize his detractors, right? This is the kind of person he's dealing with. He has to say that. I just care about this subject and have rightful concerns as a person working in this space.
Oh, there we are. See, there's the Alex argument. So, oh no, it's Alex said that because of the game that he released that's live service with Ludwig, PirateSoftware, the argument that Alex made is that this guy was mostly concerned about his own development practice and his own games that are currently active. Right there, that sentence alone, I just care about this subject and have rightful concerns as a person working in this space. That to me is an admission that he is concerned about his own intellectual properties. That's an admission in my book.
I wouldn't have anything to say, but he...
No, you won't. You won't be able to find that information. He don't got a public company nor a nonprofit, only transparent companies. Interesting.
He had to say rightful, i.e. justified.
He is a CD in off-brand publishing. Okay, so he's not... That's not his company. Got it.
Concerns, didn't he? Bro, one of your takes was that you're scared that if SKG is successful, the government's gonna enslave game devs who've made live service games and force them to work on it forever.
I don't want the government telling indies that they have to have their live service game stay online forever. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. But when you're talking about a legal setting to force people to do this, you're generally moving in that direction.
This guy wants to talk about delusional perspectives, while seriously floating the idea that there's a chance the EU would legislate to make it so that if you're an indie dev and make a live service game, that's it. That's your life now. Get in the server maintenance cage. He then moves on to tell us what he actually said in his first video. As with his claim that he made 2 videos, all of this technically true, but that's not all that was in the video. He has chosen to omit the #1 misrepresentation he made. Accurate statements don't cancel out misrepresentations unless they are directly addressing that misrepresentation. If I made a video where I said, PirateSoftware killed my dog, and he's a game developer, people get mad and I respond and I say, well, here's what I actually said. I just thought people should know that PirateSoftware is a game developer. That
he really is the gay riddler. I can't get over it when he does shit like that. Because it's like so simplistic, yet it also sounds like a riddle. I can't get over it. It's so funny. But like, Harville does have a point. He just obfuscates everything. He'll acknowledge like certain aspects of it that fit his narrative, but he'll kind of address stuff, but then not actually push on it and actually say the words, I was wrong about this, or maybe I was hyperbolic about this. Like, if you just said that, people wouldn't be calling you a fucking liar. Just own your shit.
That's not countering the hate. That's lying by omission. If you want detail on the misrepresentation, check out my last video. There's something else I want to look at here. PirateSoftware says, I also harshly critique Ross Scott's wording in his videos because they disparage the lawmaking process and lawmakers, which
disparage the lawmaking process. That video is just him talking about how it should. It's It's unfair that these developers are not regulated to have these kinds of end game life cycles. How is that disparaging lawmakers? Saying, hey, the only way politicians do anything is that you need to put applied pressure onto them. That's not disparaging. That's literally how the government works. I don't have...
But, you know... who the fuck are Pirate... Have you ever met anyone who's actually a fan of Pirate Software?
My roommate was.
Really?
Well, yeah, because he does the whole Asmongold WoW people. You know, he's very he's super dialed into that space. Like, he's an expert. Like, I could sit him down here and he could recite shit to you from like 10 years ago. Pirate Software probably did or had or knows about.
Interesting.
That motherfucker is autistic with Asmongold and all of his little friends.
Yeah, someone had to tell me how Asmongold's mother died last night.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, it's rough.
Doesn't benefit players or this movement in any way. Multiple problems with this. Some of what Pirate Software said in his video could be construed as a critique of his wording, but in addition to that form of critique, Pirate Software also mischaracterized what was simply Ross describing why it could work, explaining a state of affairs that would exist regardless, as if it were Ross's tactic, his strategy to push it through.
If you're going to be setting precedent...
Oh, somebody found me the Matt Pat drama between him. Okay.
If you're going to be putting forward something that you want to start a conversation to eventually become legislation, and these are the reasons for it, not only can I not agree with the initiative, but I can't agree with you. And I think that the tactics that you're using here are really disgusting.
He called Ross's description of how things are disgusting tactics. When it's not something he's doing, it's something he's describing that would be in play regardless of the gaming-related initiative being proposed. Correct or not, it's what he believes. If he decided not to say that when he thinks it's the case, for the purpose of providing a different appearance of his campaign, that would be disingenuous. So it's not a tactic, but as far as disgusting goes, why does he think it's disgusting? He doesn't make that perfectly clear in the video, but his recent Twitter post explains, as we already saw, that he says he critiqued the wording because it disparages the lawmaking process and lawmakers.
I can't get over that line. How are you disparaging lawmakers? How? In what world was Ross doing anything along those lines?
I seriously, man, I don't understand what we're talking about here. Because, I mean, we all know that the worst thing you can do is disparage a lawmaker.
God.
Like,
you say politicians suck.
Loves Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Pirate Software is the modern day Joseph Goebbels, so I do understand where he's coming from. I understand his position.
But like,
you can't be mean to Hitler, guys. That is, listen, I'm not saying that Pirate Software thinks that you should be nice about Hitler. I am saying that if it was 1940s, he would think that
because the Nazi Party told him to.
Because it doesn't benefit.
He was just following orders, guys.
And he says
you can't blame him for all that happened in Poland.
Players. It's bad for all players. This is very, very strange to me because before Ross put out that video where he explains why he thought the initiative could succeed, Pirate Software had discussed Stop Killing Games and had a few words of his own to say about the government.
The moment you have the government step in and try to regulate this shit, it's going to be awful. If you think the government can manage anything, you have...
Okay, listen, we're not talking about like a governmental body being set up to observe video games industries and their practices. They are talking about a set rule that goes, hey, if a person buys a product and purchases said product, they should be able to access said product after life cycle ends. Nobody is talking about creating a Bureau of Video Game Investigations. That is when the government will fail to like put shit together because governmental bodies are dog shit. What we need is just something on the books that says, hey, these companies aren't allowed to do this anymore. And if they do it, they're open to potential lawsuits.
Yeah, it's like so there's now like a lot of right to repair stuff, and it's like you should have the right to repair stuff you buy.
Right.
Like you should buy, like whether it's a phone, you should be able to replace the battery. A big one for this is tractors because farmers weren't able to repair their own tractors. It's shit like that. And everyone was like, well, no, this could never work now. It's worked this way for ages. People used to sell you a video game and you would own the video game. Do you know what we need? We need a governmental department to look into Pirate Software and who the fuck is paying this. That's what we need.
Yeah, I'm getting so annoyed watching these clips, dude. But Chris, he's even lying about that statement. I sent you a short about him supporting government intervention. No fucking way.
Fuck off, Fauci. No way.
Fuck off! There's no... China gotcha proposed changes. Oh, I'm sorry. What is this?
China has actually just announced something really wild. Online games will now be banned from giving players rewards if they log in every day. If they spend on the game the first time, like the top-up bonuses, gone. If they spend several times on the game consecutively, so chain money, they're like, oh, you bought like 5 items, you can get 50% off the next item. That's gone. In addition, games will be stopped from luck-based draw mechanics, like loot boxes to minors. No more gacha for kids. That's good. It is crazy and crazy to see this. So these are all banned now in China.
I agree with that's a good thing.
That is a good thing.
That's a great thing. How did that come about though? Wait, how did that come about though? Government intervention.
Do you know what's crazy about that as well? Like, we all know that's a bad thing. One of the reasons I used to play a lot of Warframe. Used to play a lot of Warframe. And if you wanted like currency for cheap, the best way to get it was to not play the game for a month. And then when you'd log in, the first thing you'd get was a 50% discount.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these are obviously good things. So I know we're not talking about the current ongoing drama, but like, this is one of those things of you've got to be really careful that your takes are consistent. Otherwise, there's a ton of clips like this, which people can just pull up of like, wow, you're a fucking liar and you have no principle.
Oh, this is aggravating to watch. Like, how do you say in one clip that you're totally cool with China doing these things? These are all good things. I have no problem with the idea of China banning gambling to kids. No problem with it at all. Or like, predatory practices.
China was paying him.
True, probably. But like, I have no problem with this. That's a pro-consumer argument that is being made here. These are good things. Why is this the problem? I don't get it. I cannot understand it.
Panic among investors, wiping nearly $80 billion in market value off of China's 2 biggest gaming companies. The moment that they did this, $80 billion wiped off the map, dude. Now, here's the thing that's really interesting. People will be like, oh, that's just going to be in China. They're going to use them everywhere else. I don't know about that. Remember when the EU implemented all of its online laws and then every website does this? I think the rest of the market's going to follow suit. This is a rare China W for me. These are some of the most predatory dog shit business things I've ever seen in games. And it feels weird, but I agree with you, China. Please.
Okay, he doesn't like China. I'm kind of based. Fuck China. But like, bro, I don't know how you can have these arguments, but it be against this. And Fauci's screaming it's because he makes his own like live service game and he thinks that's the problem, so he's doing it out of self-preservation, which the more I get sent, the more I'm starting to believe it.
Haven't been around long enough. Legitimately. That is a terrifying prospect. Letting the government get into video games is a
oh my god! That sentence just made it worse.
Oh my god.
That sentence just made that whole China clip even worse.
Terrible goddamn idea. Awful idea.
Terrible idea. The government being involved in video games in any capacity? Terrible fucking idea. What are you talking about? Yeah, China banning gambling for kids? Totally awesome. The video game industry should be regulated when it comes to that. Like, which is it? Should they not be involved at all? Or should they be involved?
Idea. You need to get through a couple more presidents before you realize that shit. That is an awful direction. Keep the government out of games. No thank you.
Wait, is this his real position? Or is it just another fake one he thought would be more effective in the moment? And this is the guy we're supposed to now believe is concerned about the disparagement of lawmakers. Seriously though, he was kinda based in this stream. Bit hypocritical because apparently he doesn't consider government force being used to protect intellectual property as the government being in games. Wonder why. But check this out.
If you want to petition a studio to then have that game released as a live service game with private servers on the outside, you go right ahead.
Wait, what?
I'm done. I'm fucking. You gotta be.
What? No, fuck off. Wind that back. Wind that back. Control your crash out. Wind that back.
In games, wonder why. But check this out.
If you want to petition a studio to then have that game released as a live service game with private servers on the outside, you go right ahead. You get the government involved, I am not on your side. I am not on your side even a little bit. Government can stay the hell out of games.
Doesn't that sound like something a Nazi would say?
Bro, the initial. Oh my god, dude. How can one man be this much of a hypocrite?
This is so dumb.
I can't take it anymore.
It's so dumb.
I can't take it.
Yeah, I told you before, I'm not a fan of the government. There's a reason for that shit.
But you're a fan of China's government implementing bans on monetization practices. I'm so pissed. I can't take it
This is
anymore.
so dumb.
Keep them out of.
I get. You know what?
Clickbait,
You know what? I get why everyone's crashing out on him. I get it. I get it now. I get why everyone's getting the pound of flesh. If I had to make an actual, like, well-crafted video or even just a basic rant video in general, I'd be. I get why everyone's pissed at him. He's making me angrier the more clips I see.
Games. Stay out of games. No. They can't manage shit. They've never been able to manage shit. I don't want them in games. You don't want them in games.
If he's not lying about his feelings here, then literally everything else he's said is a deception. Every last thing he said in his videos, every last thing he's saying in tweets, totally disingenuous. He would be arguing against it no matter what, because his real problem is any government involvement whatsoever. The arguments he's presenting are just whatever he can scrabble for without having to let you know he's this cucked bitch libertarian too scared to state his real position. Unless it's a few hours deep in a stream and he thinks outsiders won't see it. Holy shit! This is more pathetic than I thought. PirateSoftware said this.
To say that the government just doesn't care and this is an easy win and we're going to get it through is disingenuous. You're talking about a multi-billion-dollar global industry. To think that the
I don't think Ross said this is going to be an easy win. Everyone recognizes this is an uphill battle. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Chris, you know what's crazy? The licensing agreement that caused this problem is a government-involved process codified into IP laws.
Okay, I need to bounce, but before I do need to tell you one more thing. Do you know about, you've heard his DEF CON black badge claim, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what his black badge is actually for?
No.
It's for the scavenger hunt. It's which, like, again, is not like completely like irrelevant, but it's a group thing where basically when you go to DEF CON, you get your like badge thing, that you like kind of like getting where you go, and they always have scavenger hunts on it, and his team won it. That's what he got it for. He didn't get it for like the really deep hacker shit. He got it for the fucking scavenger hunt. And I think he's got like one other for something else. But the like way he's presented himself as like super into
Coding,
hacking,
hacking,
like,
yeah.
really like impressive. It's just again, there are parts to his history which are impressive. But the problem with software is that because he's such an insane egotistical narcissist, he ramps them up to things that they just fucking aren't.
Right. And if he's wrong about it, he'll continue to argue it through and through. He won't ever admit, like, at least maybe some culpable fault in some area. He's got to, like, say all or nothing. This is pathetic. You're not going to stick around for this?
No, I said that I'd go and do something with a friend.
All right, man. Have a good day.
I've already left him hanging for half an hour. I'll catch you in a bit.
See ya.
Peace, you.
Bye.
Peace, chat.
The government isn't going to be meticulously looking through this and looking for flaws and holes is absurd. So I don't think that's honest at all, and I find it disgusting.
Like 2 weeks after saying this.
Government can say the hell out of video games. They don't even know what the goddamn internet is. And we know that because when they
Blitzen, I didn't cover the PirateSoftware WoW crash out because, honest to God, I thought the drama was fucking retarded because I don't know anything about WoW. I don't know how to do anything shot call wise. Beckett explained to me earlier a little bit more in depth about it. My roommates explained it to me before, but like I never cared about that, if I'm honest with you. This to me is like a lot more of an egregious situation.
Congress was talking about it, they called for nerds to explain it to them on the goddamn Congress floor. Do you really want that shit in video games?
This guy was practically calling the government retarded. Granted, he was talking about the US here, so maybe he thinks the EU and UK are run by gamers. But Jesus Christ, do you mean anything you say ever, or is it literally always just what you think will work? Sorry if you feel a bit blue-balled because you were expecting a step-by-step through both of his tweets, but I'm disgusted now. I've lost my appetite for this kind of cringe. Let's finish by briefly scanning his second tweet. He starts with name drops. Just talked to Charlie and Just Drive Hayes for a bit in DMs. So this is going to be a...
I see the good point that Funny just made, and it completely passed me by. But like the sentiment where he turns around and says, well, Congress said get nerds to come in and explain this to us. Isn't that what you want? Is like a group of people coming in to explain the position of the bill in context to something that is pro-consumer? Wouldn't they want professionals to be a part of it? I'm not talking about a lobbying group or anything like that will just pour hundreds of thousands of dollars into a fucking politician's pocket to speak on their behalf. But like, I'm talking about like, if Congress comes in and says, hey, we don't know a lot about the game industry. We need like actual experts here. Can you explain this to us in the congressional hall? I feel like that's not a bad thing. I feel like that's a good thing. I feel like that's them being willing to hear it out.
About that conversation, yeah? You ought to be careful saying, I talked to so-and-so, and then just stating a bunch of stuff, because it makes it sound like they're co-signing it, or that they advised you or something. And this is the summary of that, when that really doesn't seem to be the case.
But the point of me reaching out to him was to talk about his refusal to acknowledge that he did, maybe unintentionally, misrepresent Stop Killing Games, and it led to a just shy of 2 hours, circular argument that ultimately got us nowhere.
I feel like I would have snapped 10 minutes in. If we couldn't find any sort of common ground 10, 15 minutes in, I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing in this call right now? You need to recognize this aspect. That is what I am talking about. If you cannot recognize that aspect, we have no longer a discussion to have here. 2 hours, Charlie. I would have lost my shit 10 minutes in.
More focused on his qualms with Stop Killing Games and really liked to challenge me to prove him wrong about some of his hang-ups with it. And when I would mention the behavior aspect, hey, you did misrepresent it, and I'd give him a timestamp, he'd then instead say how I'm wrong for thinking that he misrepresented it. We got nowhere.
This tweet doesn't seem like a very natural outcome of that. That he talked to them doesn't seem very relevant to him simply repeating himself again. Well, hold on. To be fair, it's not all simple repetition. He's got another new real reason he made those videos. He only made it because you're retarded, and it was his duty to improve public knowledge because you thinking game dev is easy makes game dev hard, which is funny because this guy doesn't even understand.
It's just that's not the argumentation that anyone's making. Yes, will it add another layer of the process when it comes to game development to add an end game life cycle? Yeah, but that is fair to the consumer. That is fair to the individual that paid for your product and service that they are probably going to fall, that you hope that they fall in love with and care about forever so that it can pass its legacy on forever. What? How? I'm just...
And apologies. If you're mad at me for being a dick to Ross, I get it, and I'm sorry for that. What? You're sorry to the general public for being a dick to Ross, or you're sorry you made people mad? You don't have to apologize at all, but what the hell is that?
It's literally him trying to obfuscate, because his community thinks that everyone's mad because Ross is a good guy, and that PirateSoftware went after Ross, and it's a horrible thing that you shouldn't be doing. Going after Ross because he's not listening to the criticism. He's just listening to, you were a dick to Ross. And that's all he's getting out of this. He doesn't care about the actual arguments. He doesn't care about the preservation of games. He doesn't care about anything involving that. All right, I'm curious about this MatPat beef now. It's 4 minutes.
All right, we're back with our third, fourth, fifth, PirateSoftware drama video. And this part of the
Oh, God, what the fuck what video was I sent? Why are you so pale? Why do you have a green screen of a mansion behind you, bro? What is this channel?
saga is very interesting to me because it involves PewDiePie and MatPat. So what happened?
Huh?
So I was watching an old PewDiePie video.
PewDiePie?
It was talking about an issue with MatPat and how he didn't link a game in one of the gameplays he did. And guess what game that was? Heartbound, which is PirateSoftware's game.
No fucking shot.
So what happened? So I was watching an old PewDiePie video, and it was talking about an issue with MatPat and how he didn't link a game in one of the gameplays he did. And guess what game that was? Heartbound, which is PirateSoftware's game.
So PirateSoftware made a public fucking stink that MatPat did a review of his video of a video game that was his, and he got mad that it wasn't linked into the description, which could have just been an oversight. Instead of just reaching out to MatPat or to MatPat's company, like what the fuck?
Game. So PirateSoftware took to Twitter and kind of calling out MatPat for not linking the game, which I don't really get because no one links games when it comes to video. Like when you come to playing video games on YouTube, no one really links anything. So I don't think he did anything different than anyone else.
No, he didn't. Everyone kind of does that. It's in the fucking title. It's the video game in of itself. It's the exposure in of itself discussing the game. Most people don't link the Steam page for video games. I agree with this guy. That should be a practice, in my opinion. We should be doing that. But like, it's not like the most egregious thing imaginable.
But PirateSoftware kind of took a weird approach to it. Let's get into it. So I get this as old news. I get this happened like 5-6 years ago. But I still find it interesting because people just keep on bringing up old...
This happened 5 years ago?
PirateSoftware drama that he's been in over time. So where are we at with the PirateSoftware drama? So we've gone over his World of Warcraft gameplay and how he wasn't typically the best teammate and his reaction wasn't the best to the situation. We went over PirateSoftware allegedly harassing people back in like 2008, an article that was written about him and just about how he wasn't the best person back there and kind of like an egomaniac and stuff like that. And then we also went over how he falsely DMCA striked a small game dev who used his voice in a parody sense, who used it under fair use. So the reason why I'm bringing this up today, even though this is old ass drama, this happened like 6 years ago, is because this is just such an interesting topic to me about how Pirate Software can go from one of the most beloved creators on the internet to
okay, buddy, you're over talking. You're over talking.
But how people are just bringing up everything he's done wrong. The reason why Pirate Software,
I can't stand how many times he kept saying people keep bringing up stuff I'm wrong about Pirate Software. People keep bringing stuff I'm wrong about Pirate Software. What is the thing?
Got mad at MatPack was because he...
Hey, MatPat, I'm pretty disappointed here, and so is our community. Your recent GT Live came across as an Undertale clickbait mashup instead of being about Heartbound. You never linked our game, and you got our studio name wrong as well. Oh my god. The fucking audacity? Like, who cares? What the fuck? Why are you weaponizing your community on top of that?
He didn't link his game in the description. He didn't link it in the title. He didn't even say it in the title. He called it like Undertale successor.
That said, their goal is to make live streams as searchable as possible. And for games with limited searchability, that's important as it gets them the audience and attention they deserve. It's the same rationale behind our Delta Room videos being branded as Undertale 2. So it's just a practice that MatPat did for years. And Pirate Software took issue with that?
Next Undertale or something like that. And basically, he didn't really give credit to Pirate Software, which I totally get because like more people are going to look.
No, the game in of itself. Why do you have to give credit to Pirate Software? The credit needs to go to the game. And MatPat has done that for years. Yeah, he should have added to the description. Dick move on his end, whatever. But it's not like the most egregious thing imaginable where you have to guilt trip somebody into doing something that you want.
Look up the game afterwards. If they just like see MatPack playing it doesn't matter if the title's not in the title of the video, just because like people like, because it's not search optimized if you use a video game that hasn't even come out yet, a video game that no one knows about. So it makes sense for why MatPack did it this way. And the way I looked at it, the way MatPack looked at it was more people are going to search up Undertale, more people are going to search up an already established game compared to Heartbound, and it makes it much more search optimized. And the reason why he didn't put it in the description was just that's just not what the protocol was back then on YouTube. And like he started doing it afterwards, so it's like he changed his mistake. But Pirate Software was still just super mad and didn't really seem like he knew what he was talking about when it came to like search optimization. Like,
is that really it? This caused a mass fucking problem where even PewDiePie got involved. I'm not listening to this video anymore. I'm not going to listen to the video anymore. It's fucking trash. But, like, that's what it was about. Really? He crashed out at MatPat over a clickbait title saying Undertale 2, giving exposure to a game that wasn't even released at the time and still isn't released from what I understand. And Pirate Software crashed out on him about it. Why the fuck was this even a thing? Why? That is the most childish shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I hate the dude. Pirate Software has like reached another level of anger for me.
Hey guys, thank you for watching the clip. Thank you for using Wikipedia for doing the editing. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter and make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. Check out the link in the description for the LOLcow trading card game. There's a brand new pack called Series X. That pack has my card in it, the tipster cards as well. On top of that, there's a bunch of other cast of characters in there, and we're also working towards an ultimate goal for that. So make sure you guys click on the link below. We're going to try and upload daily here and do live streams pretty often, so make sure you stick around and hit that like button. Thanks, guys.